Get ready for a wild ride. We're diving deep into the lives and dramas of Salem's residents. Secrets simmer, relationships get tangled, and nobody has clean hands in this town. We're talking soap opera-level storylines, family drama, romantic entanglements, power struggles, and rivalries that go way back. We'll be focusing on how even small choices can have huge consequences, and how the past always seems to find a way to come back and bite you in Salem.
It's fascinating to see how ambition and the desire for power can really push people to do some pretty shocking things. It makes you think, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Let's jump right into the corporate intrigue happening at Titan Industries. Philip's back in Salem, and he's set on taking over the family business. But he's not exactly playing fair. Forging a letter from his supposedly dead father, Victor, that's a pretty bold move.
It does make you wonder if he feels like he needs to take such drastic measures to prove himself. He's been gone from Salem for a while, so maybe he feels like he has something to prove, not just to his family, but to himself as well.
Right, and then there's Xander, who currently holds a powerful position at Titan. He's not going to back down without a fight. Remember that scene where he threatened Philip with a gun?
Oh, yeah, but the gun was empty when he pulled the trigger. So what do you think? Is he all bark and no bite? Or is he just playing mind games with Philip?
Good question. Then you've got Kate, Philip's mother, who's stuck in the middle of this power struggle. On top of that, she's dealing with threats from Vivian, Philip's other mother, which, by the way, is a whole other crazy story involving stolen embryos.
The history between Kate and Vivian is so complicated. It really shows how the past can affect the present, you know? They've been rivals for so long, each one convinced that she's Philip's real mother. It makes you think about the nature of motherhood. Is it about biology? Or is it about the love and care you give?
That's a really deep question. Okay, let's switch gears for a minute and talk about the younger generation. They're weaving some pretty tangled webs of their own. Tate's in a bit of a predicament. He's currently with Sophia, but his ex-girlfriend, Holly, just got back from Paris.
Yeah.
And guess what? She wants to get back together.
Interesting. And Holly knows about Sophia.
Oh, she knows.
It's kind of intriguing that Holly seems so forgiving of Tate's current relationship. I wonder if it's genuine or if there's something else going on.
It does make you wonder. Meanwhile, Sophia's confiding in her boss, Ava, about the whole situation. It's good that they can talk openly about things like responsibility and consequences.
Yeah, I agree. Ava's guidance is a good example of how important it is to have a good support system, especially when you're young and trying to figure out love and relationships. What do you think about in their conversations? Is Sophia getting good advice?
You know, I think she is. Ava's definitely giving her some solid guidance. Okay, let's get back to those motherly battles. The rivalry between Kate and Vivian is really heating up as they fight for Philip.
Yeah, they're both fierce. This conflict brings up a big question. What does it mean to be a good mother? Is it about blood ties? Or is it about the love and support you give? It's a tough question with no easy answer. I bet a lot of people can relate to this, even if their lives aren't as dramatic as these characters.
For sure, it's a universal theme. Everyone's got a mother, and everyone has their own unique relationship with her. It's definitely something to think about.
You know, it's interesting how forgiveness plays out in these storylines. We see it with Holly, seemingly forgiving Tate for his relationship with Sophia, and then there's Kristen, grappling with her own guilt, trying to confess to Brady. It makes you wonder, is true forgiveness even possible? Especially in Salem, with all its history and baggage.
Yeah, it makes you think, are these characters truly remorseful, or are they just manipulating the situation to their advantage?
Yeah.
It's tough to tell sometimes.
It definitely adds another layer to things, that's for sure. Speaking of a complex, let's go back to Philip and Xander. That moment when Xander pulled the trigger even though the gun was empty, wow, that was intense. What did you think when you saw that? Were you surprised?
I definitely did not see that coming. It makes you wonder, is Xander really as ruthless as he seems? Maybe deep down he can't actually hurt Philip, even though they're rivals. Or maybe he's just playing a different kind of game, choosing intimidation over actual violence.
And then we have Vivian throwing a wrench into everything by forging that letter, appointing Philip head of the Kyriakis estate. She's not afraid to play dirty, that's for sure, and she seems to really enjoy stirring up trouble.
Oh, she's a master manipulator, no doubt about it. But her meddling might have actually helped Philip, at least for now. He's got the upper hand at Titan.
It's like a chain reaction, you know? Her actions have unintended consequences that could affect everyone involved. Do you think Philip will figure out that Vivian's behind the forged letter?
That's a good question. What do you think? How would he react if he found out? Would he be furious and expose her? Or would he use it to his advantage and keep playing along? It seems like everyone in Salem's got secrets, and you never know when those secrets are going to come out.
That's so true. And speaking of secrets, Kristen is desperate to confess to Brady, but something always gets in the way. It's like fate is testing her, or maybe it's her own subconscious holding her back from the truth.
It's really interesting to watch her struggle with her guilt. She wants to come clean and be forgiven, but she's also terrified of what might happen. What do you think is holding her back? Fear, guilt, or maybe a tiny bit of hope that she can bury her secrets and save her relationship with Brady?
Speaking of relationships, let's talk about Tate, Sophia, and Holly. We talked about Holly's surprisingly calm reaction to Tate's new relationship. Do you think her time in Paris really changed her, or is she waiting for the right moment to make her move?
I'm thinking it's probably the latter. She's made it pretty clear that she still has feelings for Tate, and I don't think she gives up easily. This love triangle is far from over, and I have a feeling it's about to get messy.
And then there's Ava trying to help Sophia navigate this whole situation. Ava's advice seems genuine, but is it realistic? Do you think Sophia can handle the fallout when Holly makes her move?
It's hard to say. Sophia's young, maybe a little naive about love and relationships. She could be underestimating Holly's determination to win Tate back. It's like she's walking into a minefield without realizing the danger.
And we can't forget about little Rachel, caught in the middle of her parents' drama. She wants her family back together, which is heartbreaking considering what's going on with Brady and Kristen. What do you think about her role in all of this?
It's a good reminder that kids often get hurt by adult problems. Rachel just wants a happy family, and it's sad that her parents' choices are causing her so much pain. It shows how our actions have consequences, even unintended ones, and how they can ripple out and affect those around us, especially the people we love. Everyone in Salem's walking on eggshells, aren't they? Trying to balance their own wants with what everyone else needs. But with so much deception going on, it's tough to know who's being real and who's putting on an act. What do you think?
Yeah, they're all trapped in their own webs, and every decision they make could set them free or pull them deeper into the drama. It's interesting how their choices often come from a place of really wanting something. Wanting love, wanting to belong, or wanting to be accepted.
Let's talk about that showdown brewing between Sophia and Holly. Sophia's finally going to confront Holly about her feelings for Tate, and I think it's going to be explosive. What do you think?
It'll be interesting to see how Holly reacts. Will she keep playing it cool, or will her true feelings come out? And then there's Tate. How's he going to deal with being caught between two women who obviously care about him?
Yeah, what should he do?
I think he needs to be honest with both of them, about how he really feels, and he needs to make a choice. Stringing them along will just cause more pain in the end.
Right. Speaking of pain, Kristen's struggle to confess to Brady is getting more and more intense. Do you think she'll ever be able to tell him the truth?
It's hard to say. She's torn, between wanting forgiveness and being terrified of losing Brady. Plus, we can't forget about Rachel. If the truth comes out, it could really hurt their family. Do you think Brady could forgive Kristen if she confesses?
That's the big question, isn't it? Brady's a good guy, but what Kristen did was pretty bad. It would take a lot of love and understanding to get past that.
And while all this is happening, Xander's still lurking in the shadows, determined to take over Titan. Those conversations he has with Victor's portrait are kind of creepy, aren't they? What do you think about his motives?
I think he's torn between honoring Victor's memory and his own ambitions. He wants to make Victor proud, but he also wants to prove he can lead the family business. It's a tough spot to be in, and it's anyone's guess what he'll do next.
And then there's Vivian, always one step ahead of everyone else. Threatening to expose Philip's involvement in the forgery gives her a lot of power, doesn't it?
She's like a puppeteer, pulling the strings and watching everyone dance. But how long can she keep that up? Will her scheming backfire on her?
That's what keeps us coming back for more, right? We never know what's going to happen next in Salem. But one thing's for sure, the truth always comes out eventually. And when it does, it changes everything.
So we've really gone deep into the lives of these Salem residents, and it's clear that no one escapes the complications of love, ambition, and the impact of their actions. It's been a wild ride. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Salem.